Welcome, everyone. I'm Missy Rubin from Pittsburgh Regional Transit. Thank you for joining us today. We are here to talk about the PRTner Pass program. This is an information session, so we will not be taking public testimony at this session. This session is for you to gain more information and ask clarifying questions so that you have a good understanding of the program. We will go through in the presentation how you can submit public testimony for the record. I'm just going to go through a couple quick housekeeping items before we go ahead and get started. So first, this meeting is being recorded and transcribed, so that we can share it online for those that were unable to attend. Closed captioning is available. The function has been enabled. So if you wish to use that function, if you click on the three dots wherever your settings are on your screen, you will go to language and speech, and then show live captions. So the function is on our end, but you would need to turn it on yours. We also have ASL interpretation available, and you can see that our interpreter is already on and signing. So I've already spotlighted her screen. You shouldn't need to do anything. Her screen will remain large. We ask that you please remain muted during the presentation, and we'll open the meeting up for questions at the end. You'll notice that the chat function is disabled for this meeting. And again, we will take questions at the end. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to turn it over to Dominica Brown, our Chief Financial Officer.
Hello, everyone. Good morning again. Thank you all for being here. My name is Dominica Brown. I'm the Chief Financial Officer here at PRT.
You were invited to.
Yeah.
And I would like to give an opportunity if there are any board members online to please introduce yourselves. Alrighty. Given there are none, or if you're still working to get off of mute, just interrupt. Can all PRT staff please introduce yourselves?
Mike Setra, Chief Legal Officer for Pittsburgh Regional Transit.
Good morning, everyone. This is Inez Colon, Chief Human Resources Officer.
Hi, Jeffrey Devlin, Chief Innovation Officer.
I'm Jim Ritchie. I'm the Head of Communications for PRT.
Melissa Gertie, Government Affairs Liaison.
Okay. Assuming that is everyone in participation from PRT, we will move on with the presentation. So the PRTner Pass is a pass program that's designed to encourage ridership by enabling eligible entities to purchase monthly passes for all of their employees, residents or tenants, and students. It is valid for unlimited use on all of our PRT service buses, light rail, and incline, but not on our access paratransit service. Eligible organizations for the PRTner Pass are multifamily property owners and managers that have at least 10 eligible units in one physical location. Schools. These schools are secondary and post-secondary schools that are not eligible to participate in the UPass program, and employers who have at least 10 eligible employees. Multifamily property owners and managers, for this program, the contract cost is determined by the total number of units. The property must have at least 10 eligible units in one physical location and be located within PRT's service area. One pass must be purchased for each unit regardless of occupancy, and there are no exclusions on the property program based on the age. It is solely based on the total number of units. Another mention is that a unit's pass cannot be used by a resident of another unit. For schools, the contract cost is dependent on the total number of eligible students. The schools are secondary and post-secondary schools that are not eligible to participate in the current UPass program. The schools must purchase a pass for all students who are 12 and up. If any students under the age of 12 are not eligible for this Partner Pass program. This program would be considered active during the traditional 10-month school year, but there would be an option at the school and PRT's discretion to extend the program to be year-round. And eligible students may include those who live outside of Allegheny County and commute and go to school within Allegheny County. But again, the physical school location must be within our service area. For employers, the contract cost is determined by the total number of eligible employees, and the employer must have at least 10 eligible employees. An eligible employee is considered a benefits eligible employee or other groups defined by PRT. But for these purposes, we'll consider a benefits eligible employee an employee who works 24 more hours a week on a 40-hour work week. Employers may opt to purchase passes for employees who work 100% remote, who work less than full-time, and do not qualify for benefits or independent contractors. Employees aged 65 and older and others at PRT's sole discretion are excluded from the employer program. Eligible employees, again, can include those who live outside of Allegheny County. The pricing, so the price point for this program is $28 per participant, per eligible participant, and that is at a 70% discount. The pricing is based on the understanding that not all participants will use transit. However, the entity is required to purchase passes for 100% of eligible participants, regardless of who uses transit. And also an honorable mention, the initial program will run at this price for the first 18 months, and it will be reevaluated, and the price may change based on data collected throughout that initial period. For participation in management, to be approved for participation, an entity must apply with PRT, and enrollment is considered active once a completed contract is in place. Participating entities will be responsible for providing PRT the number of eligible participants or units and managing the email list of eligible participants through a rolling annual contract with PRT. Entities will enroll in the partner portal to manage and issue monthly passes to their eligible participants, and participants must set up an account in PRT's Ready to Ride mobile app using their email. Once that is completed, participants can use the Ready to Ride app on their smartphones with no additional cost. They would use the monthly pass that was purchased by their sponsoring entity, and they can enjoy the services of all of PRT's bus, light rail, and inclines. The partner pass is not transferable, and the passes cannot be used by anyone other than the issued pass holder. A few clarifications from the legal ad to where we are today with the program. In the legal ad, it mentioned that 65 and older were excluded, and that is only valid for the employer program. As mentioned previously, in the property program, there are no exclusions based on age. The number of units determines the number of passes purchased per the contract. Also, participants residing outside of Allegheny County would still be considered eligible for the employee and school programs. However, all entities that participate must be located within PRT's service area. So any school or work location or multi-unit location would need to be within PRT's service area. So the timeline for the rest of this public period is that the comments for Thursday's public hearing are due by tomorrow, Wednesday, October 11th by 5 p.m. Listed is the telephone number and the website in order to submit those comments. Also, there's a mailing address if necessary. The public hearing will be online and in person on Thursday, September 12th from 1 to 3 p.m. Comments received will be analyzed and staff will present final recommendations to PRT's board in October during the October committee meetings. If approved by PRT's board, PRT will begin outreach with potential multifamily property owners and managers, schools, and employers. The current plan is that the Partner Pass program, once we get through all of the previous mentioned steps, would begin January 2025. As mentioned on the previous slide, the public hearing will be held on Thursday, September 12th from 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It is in person at the Pittsburgh Regional Transit Boardroom, the downtown Heinz location. There will be online access via Microsoft Teams and also by phone. Registration for the hearing will close tomorrow on Wednesday, September 11th. And to register to provide public comment, please call the below listed phone number or access the website. That is the conclusion of the presentation. I will pass things back over to Melissa to answer into the question.
You. Do we have any questions or comments? And again, just a reminder that any questions or comments here are not part of the official public record. They're just for, clarification and understanding. Yes, Allison, go ahead. If you want to just unmute yourself, you can talk.
Yeah. So my question has to do with I had read that the employers and landlords would be able to pass on the cost onto the pass users. So my question is, like, if they choose to do that, would they be required to pass on the cost to everyone, whether they use their pass or not? Or would they be allowed to only pass on the cost to the people who utilize the passes?
That's a good question. I don't know legally what they would be allowed to do. However, our requirement is that if they do decide to pass on the costs and our assumption was that it would only be to participating employees or tenants, that it could not be more than the purchase price that they are paying. So it wouldn't be more than that $28 monthly price. As far as entities being able to pass it on to all employees, I'm not certain about that.
Yeah, again, this is Mike Setcher, Chief Legal Officer. From a legal perspective, I could speak to this similar to our UPass program. We really don't have a means to compel a participant as far as how they pay for participating in a program or who they allocate those costs to. I think the universities all do it a little bit differently. Some, kind of spread the cost evenly amongst all eligible students, even if they don't use their pass, while others have a system in place where there's only a certain charge for those who actually use the service. So I would anticipate, again, entities have to meet our eligibility requirements, and that means that they make it all of their eligible, employees or tenants or secondary school or other students have to have the ability to get the pass. They have to buy it for all of them, but it would really be at the entity's discretion how they pay for it and how they allocate costs to participants.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Swain, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Great, thanks. And obviously it's everything you're discussing is only the monthly pass. I assume that's the only option. There's no weekly or annual option at the moment.
For this program, it is just the monthly pass. We weekly would require greater administration, so I doubt that that's an option that employers would want to administer, nor does it seem like something that is practical to us. The idea is that you have a pass during your entire time of employment or residence or education. And so the monthly is what would make the most sense. For an annual, there's no guarantee that you would stay with an employer for that full year. And so the monthly, and from what we're seeing from other systems that have a program like this and how it's managed, it's been the monthly. That's kind of the status quo or standard.
Makes sense. Thanks.
Allison?
Yeah, I guess my question would be for multifamily properties. You had said that there would be one pass per unit. I suspect that would work for most places, but I could see there being some properties where, like you might have multiple roommates who might want to use them, and the demand in a particular building might actually be more than the number of units there. Like, would there be an ability for that property to purchase more?
Yeah, so we do realize that there may be a need for more than one pass in a unit. The structure of the program that we've seen is generally what we've presented. However, this is just the initial structure of the program. And as I mentioned, there's an 18-month period for reevaluation and things like that. And that'll allow for us to kind of fine tune and customize different categories more specifically to be able to meet the needs of certain groups. The options were to require a pass for everyone in a unit or one per unit, and the one per unit seemed like the safer bet. But we do have to do more exploration to figure out what that might look like if a unit needed additional passes. So that isn't something that's off the table. It's just not something that has been structured as of yet.
And if I could add to that, Dominique, I think it's fair to say any application or agreement that we would do with a multi-unit residential apartment building or similar housing unit owner, that would likely be the minimum, for them to meet eligibility is one per unit. And we could, as Dominica mentioned, we could explore having options for additional passes in appropriate situations. And I think what we're anticipating, again, if PRT's board ultimately approves the program moving forward, is having some of that discretion worked in there to have some flexibility to work with different situations like that.
And that is the reason that it's worded the way that it's worded. It says you must purchase one, but it's not limited to that. But it is a matter, like Mike Cetra just said, of getting into the space where we're able to continue to explore that further.
Okay, thanks. I thought of another question. Oh, I see somebody has their hand up, but
You can go ahead and ask and then.
okay. Yeah, I guess another question would be regarding the housing authorities. I don't know if you've spoken to them or not, but it's my understanding that the way that they're allowed to spend their money is highly regulated. So like if we have 3 housing authorities in the county, if any of them chose to participate in this program, do you know if they are eligible to, or?
I'm not quite sure if they're eligible to, but my assumption is that anyone that is within a housing authority, housing location likely qualifies for Allegheny Go. And there are other programs that we're working with the county on right now to potentially help support those who may not have the direct means to pay their other half. So even if the housing authority cannot participate in this program, which I'm not honestly quite sure how that could work, but could be other ways to support that population as well.
All right, that sounds actually super great that you guys are doing that. Cool, thanks.
And I'll just add on to what Dominica said there about the Allegheny Go program. We are working with the county's Department of Human Services to help promote and to support outreach efforts for the Allegheny Go program, which is still relatively new. And at the moment it is digital based, but going forward into next year, it'll also have a card option, which is going to open the program up to more people. And PRT will be supporting promotion and outreach in that respect too. So I think over the next year, we will be, specifically going to some of these locations and these audiences between PRT and the county to make sure people are aware of the program and they know how to sign up for the program, and to just make sure that opportunity is available to as many people as possible. So I do think, I'm just agreeing with Dominica, I think that would be a good option in your specific reference to the county housing.
Barry?
Question I have is it been treated the same as it was last year with the trial period? If we've got 50 employees 1 month, we've got 40 employees the next, is that, it's not a set amount every month, it's just, it can change depending on the amount of employees we have?
Yes, so this is very similar, almost if not exactly the same as the pilot. That we have worked out a few more details that weren't considered during the pilot, given that we're hoping that this program will reach a far larger group of organizations. But yes, that is correct. So some of the details that we did not get into with on the participation and management slide is that it would be invoiced monthly. It is the employer or manager or school's responsibility to provide a supporting documentation of what the population is that is eligible, and that is what you will be billed on a monthly basis for.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I guess, and maybe this isn't something you know just yet, but what is the plan for engagement with multifamily housing developments? There's quite a lot. They're pretty disparate. They're, way too many different landlords in the county. But yeah, what's your plan for engagement and trying to get them to jump onto this? What is a great deal, especially I think for the residential program portion?
Internally, our comms and communications group will be actively promoting the program. However, the main reason that we want to make sure that everyone is aware of the program, because the way that this program has been successful in other other agencies, for other agencies in other cities, is that whenever employers or tenants hear about it, they go to their employers. Employees and tenants hear about it, they go to their employers and landlords and say, hey, I've heard about this great program. Maybe something that we could participate in as well, right? So we're reliant on not just the owners and management of organizations and housing facilities and schools to say, oh yeah, we're interested in that, but also the folks who could benefit from it to advocate for it as well.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Anything else? Okay. Dominica, do you want to share the slide again for how to submit public testimony for folks who are unable to come to the hearing on Thursday? So there's
this one here, right?
Yeah, so just a reminder, there is another information session this evening. So if you're, talking to anyone who wasn't able to make it, there will be another one this evening. The public hearing is on Thursday, and you can submit testimony either at the hearing by calling customer service and leaving a message on a recorded line. You can go to the project webpage and submit feedback there. You can also mail it to our downtown office. And all of those comments will be part of the official public record.
Okay, do we want to do a last call here for any other questions? Please raise your hand if anyone has any. Okay, Dominica, Melissa, unless you're seeing any other hands raised or questions, I think we can conclude this informational session. Again, we have another one this evening at 5:30, and we will post one of the informational sessions. Both are being recorded online, and as you just heard, the information is up on your screen again here for various ways to submit public comment, including Thursday's public hearing.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.